What if the real reason your erection fails has nothing to do with age, hormones, or strength, but with a single physical trigger inside your body that no one ever explained to you? I am Dr. Emily Collins, urologist, and today I want to break the silence around something every man over 50 secretly fears: that moment when the penis refuses to respond, even when the desire is there. It can feel sudden, embarrassing, or confusing, but the truth is that most men do not lose their sexual power overnight. They lose circulation, tension control, and the ability of the penis to hold blood with the same firmness it once did. And this is where the breakthrough begins. Because the title you clicked is not a promise based on luck. It is based on physiology. Your erection can be activated immediately when you understand how one simple movement changes the internal pressure of the cavernous bodies, allowing the penis to swell, harden, and regain natural rigidity within minutes. You may think, it sounds too simple, but simplicity is often where the body hides its most powerful mechanisms. Before revealing the exact movement, you need to understand something crucial. Many men spend years believing the problem is psychological, when in reality the pelvic floor tightens, the blood flow weakens, and the penis becomes less capable of trapping blood. This creates a cycle: weaker erections cause anxiety, anxiety weakens circulation even more. But when you interrupt this cycle with the right mechanical stimulus, the penis reacts instantly because it is designed to respond to pressure, oxygenation, and internal expansion. If you have ever felt your erection fading midway, if the penis no longer swells with the same force, or if you simply want to restore your masculine vitality without medication, pay close attention now. What you are about to understand may change how you think about your own body and what it is capable of. And yes, the promise on the screen is real: full rigidity in minutes is possible when you activate the correct trigger. Have you ever experienced a moment when your body did not respond the way you expected? Share your experience in the comments, because your story may help another man understand his own. And while you are here, leave a like so this message reaches more people, and check if you are already subscribed to the channel. The next part will take you deeper into what truly governs your erection and why this single movement works so quickly, guiding you toward the natural power your body has not lost. To understand why a single movement can reactivate your erection so quickly, you first need to see what actually happens inside the penis when everything is working the way nature intended. An erection is not just a reaction to desire, it is a coordinated event involving blood flow, internal pressure, and the ability of the cavernous bodies to expand and lock that blood inside. When a man is younger, the arteries supplying the penis open wide with very little effort, the pelvic floor responds instantly, and the tissues fill with oxygenated blood in seconds. But after the age of 50, circulation no longer behaves with the same precision, and the penis begins to lose its explosive response. Inside the penis, two cylindrical structures called the corpus cavernosum act like hydraulic chambers. When blood enters with enough force, these chambers swell and compress the veins that would normally let the blood escape. This trapping mechanism is what creates firmness. Anything that weakens arterial flow or reduces this internal compression leads to softer erections, shorter durability, or difficulty initiating rigidity in the first place. And for many men, the issue is not a lack of desire, but a slow decline in vascular tone and tissue elasticity. Age brings a natural reduction in nitric oxide production, the molecule responsible for relaxing blood vessels. Combined with sitting for long hours, chronic tension in the pelvic floor, mild inflammation, and reduced oxygenation, the result is a penis that still wants to respond but cannot maintain the pressure required to stay firm. Some men notice this gradually, others experience a sudden drop in performance, but the internal process is the same: weaker circulation leads to weaker erections. Another factor often ignored is microstiffness of the arteries that feed the penis. Over time, these vessels become less flexible, and the blood takes longer to reach the cavernous bodies. When the penis does not swell with enough speed, the nerves misinterpret the signal, and the erection collapses even before it fully forms. This is why many men feel that their erection starts but does not stay, creating frustration and confusion. The movement you will learn soon is designed to interrupt this decline by mechanically stimulating blood flow, decompressing the pelvic floor, and restoring the immediate pressure response that the penis needs. When circulation is redirected with precision, the cavernous bodies regain their ability to expand, the veins are compressed again, and rigidity forms in a way that feels natural, strong, and almost surprising. And as you begin to sense the internal shift, the body starts remembering how to respond with more efficiency, preparing you for what comes next as we continue deepening this process. Before we move to the specific movement that restores immediate rigidity, you need to understand the most common mistake that quietly sabotages your erection every day. Most men believe that losing firmness is simply a matter of aging, but the truth is far more mechanical than emotional. The body adapts to the positions and habits you repeat daily, and one habit in particular slowly restricts the very circulation your penis depends on. I am talking about prolonged pelvic tension, a silent contraction that compresses the vessels responsible for filling the penis with blood. You may not feel it consciously, but this tension is there when you sit for long hours, when you hold your abdomen tight, or when stress makes the muscles around your pelvis tighten without releasing. This muscle group acts like a gatekeeper for penile blood flow. When it stays contracted, the arteries cannot dilate fully, and the veins remain partially open, allowing blood to escape too quickly. The result is an erection that rises halfway, loses structure, or disappears moments after forming. Many men describe the sensation as the penis becoming soft even though the desire is still strong. This is not a psychological failure, it is a circulatory interruption caused by chronic muscle pressure. And once this pattern becomes automatic, the penis forgets how to trap blood with the same intensity. Another layer of this problem is microinflammation around the pelvic nerves. It does not cause pain, so most men ignore it, but it weakens the communication between the brain and the penis. When the signal becomes slow or dull, the erection forms inconsistently. You might notice that some days you respond well and other days the rigidity disappears without warning. These fluctuations are not random, they reflect the internal environment of your pelvic floor and blood vessels. Even breathing habits play a role. Many men breathe shallowly, keeping the diaphragm high and forcing compensations below the waist. This increases pressure in the lower abdomen and restricts the expansion of the pelvic tissues. Without proper expansion, the blood cannot rush into the penis with the force required to generate immediate rigidity. This makes the erectile process feel unpredictable, fragile, or weak. The movement you will soon learn was developed specifically to undo these daily patterns. It releases the trapped tension, reopens the vascular pathways, and restores the natural pumping mechanism that the penis depends on. When the pelvic region is freed, circulation accelerates, oxygenation improves, and the cavernous bodies regain their ability to swell rapidly. At this point, the body begins to cooperate again, preparing the penis to respond with strength as you discover the next step in restoring your sexual vitality. Now that you understand why tension, weakened circulation, and restricted vascular response interfere with your erection, it is time to reveal the exact movement that reactivates the internal pressure of the penis in minutes. This technique is simple, precise, and designed to stimulate the pelvic floor and redirect blood flow directly into the cavernous bodies. It begins with positioning, because the way you place your body determines how much blood can reach the penis. Sit at the edge of a chair with your feet flat on the ground, keeping your spine straight but relaxed. This posture opens the pelvic outlet and allows the arteries to expand without resistance. Next comes the core of the movement. Inhale gently through your nose and allow your abdomen to expand, not your chest. As you do this, imagine the breath traveling downward, creating space in the lower abdomen. Now, on the exhale, tighten the muscles at the base of the penis as if you were stopping a stream of urine, but without squeezing your abdomen or glutes. Hold this contraction for 2 seconds, then release completely. This release phase is the key. Most men contract but never truly release, and the full release is what triggers the sudden rush of blood that causes the penis to swell almost instantly. Repeat this cycle slowly. Inhale and expand the lower belly, exhale and contract just the muscles around the root of the penis, then release fully. After 4 or 5 repetitions, you may feel warmth spreading through the pelvis, or a pulse inside the penis itself. This is the beginning of the vascular response returning. What makes this movement effective is that it synchronizes diaphragmatic expansion with pelvic relaxation, removing the compression that blocks blood flow. When you contract briefly and then release, the arteries rebound and open wider, pulling blood inward like a vacuum effect. If you want to intensify the result, place one hand on your lower abdomen to ensure you are not tensing the wrong muscles. The abdomen should stay soft. Only the base of the penis should activate. With each cycle, the pelvic floor becomes more responsive, the internal pressure increases, and the cavernous bodies begin to behave like they did years ago, expanding rapidly and holding blood more effectively. Most men notice a visible change before reaching the 10th repetition. The penis becomes heavier, fuller, and the initial swelling appears even without stimulation. This happens because the body recognizes the mechanical signal and reacts immediately. It is not about arousal, it is about physiology. Once the arteries open and the veins compress, rigidity follows naturally. And as this response strengthens, you begin to feel not only physical change but the return of confidence as your body proves what it is still capable of when given the correct stimulus. Once the initial swelling begins and the penis responds more quickly to the release of pelvic tension, the next step is to amplify this effect so your body can produce stronger, more consistent erections in the coming days. Immediate rigidity is powerful, but when you reinforce the internal mechanisms that support it, the change becomes noticeable not only in the moment but each time your body prepares for sexual activity. The first adjustment that enhances this response is deep oxygenation. When you breathe into the lower abdomen instead of the chest, you increase nitric oxide availability, which relaxes the penile arteries and improves the speed at which blood fills the cavernous bodies. This simple shift can double the intensity of the swelling you felt in the previous technique. Another essential factor is mobility in the pelvic region. Many men over 50 lose flexibility in the hip flexors without realizing it, and this stiffness compresses the blood vessels that feed the penis. A slow forward tilt of the pelvis while seated, followed by a gentle backward tilt, helps release the tension that builds throughout the day. When repeated for 1 or 2 minutes, this movement frees the arteries from the pressure caused by tight muscles and allows blood to circulate more effectively. Combined with the contraction and release technique, the pelvis becomes a more responsive system, boosting the erection rapidly and maintaining the pressure inside the penis for longer. There is also a nutritional adjustment that supports this process. Foods rich in natural nitrates, like leafy greens or beets, increase the body's ability to dilate blood vessels and improve the pumping mechanism needed for a firm erection. Some men notice the difference within hours, because these nutrients support the biochemical response that the mechanical techniques activate. Hydration plays an equally important role. Dehydrated tissues become less elastic, which affects the penis's ability to expand and trap blood. Drinking more water throughout the day helps restore the softness and elasticity of the cavernous tissue, enhancing the firmness you can achieve. Strengthening the muscles that assist the erection also magnifies this effect. Light activation exercises for the deep pelvic floor help the penis respond more quickly when the body signals arousal. The goal is not forceful. Squeezing but subtle, controlled engagement that increases the support beneath the cavernous bodies. As these muscles regain coordination, the penis is able to reach rigidity with greater speed, and the blood remains trapped more effectively inside the erectile chambers. When all these elements work together, oxygenation, mobility, tissue hydration, vascular nourishment, and pelvic support, the immediate result from the earlier technique becomes noticeably stronger. You begin to feel the erection forming with less effort, the rigidity lasting longer, and the penis responding with a confidence that mirrors your younger self. This prepares you for the next stage, where the immediate reaction transforms into something even more stable and reliable. As your body begins responding more efficiently to the immediate increase in circulation, the next step is transforming this short-term effect into long-lasting sexual power. Many men experience a brief improvement in erection quality but struggle to maintain consistency because the pelvic structures have adapted to years of limited blood flow. To reverse this pattern, you need to condition the tissues, nerves, and vascular channels involved in the erection so they behave with the reliability they once had. This involves training your internal system to recognize the signals that trigger firmness and to maintain those signals for longer periods, allowing the penis to stay fully engorged without fading halfway. The first element of this transformation is restoring elasticity within the cavernous tissue. When the penis expands repeatedly in a controlled, healthy way, the walls of the erectile chambers become more flexible. This flexibility allows them to hold greater volumes of blood and to compress the veins more effectively, preventing early loss of rigidity. Gentle daily stimulation using the contraction and release technique, even without sexual arousal, conditions the erectile tissue to open fully and trap blood with more stability. Over time, this improves durability and reduces the sudden drop many men experience after a few minutes. Another crucial factor is nerve responsiveness. The nerves that communicate arousal signals to the penis can become less active with age, especially when circulation has been low for years. The movement you learned earlier increases oxygenation to these nerves, making them more sensitive and quicker to respond. As the nerves regain their ability to detect pressure changes, your erection forms more quickly and remains firmer because the body reads the internal cues more accurately. This creates a stronger mind-body connection, restoring the confidence that erections will appear when you expect them to. Building muscular coordination also strengthens durability. The pelvic floor should not remain tight all day, but it must contract with precision during sexual arousal to support the erection from beneath. Practicing light rhythmic engagement, without force or strain, teaches these muscles to respond automatically. When they coordinate properly, they assist the penis in staying rigid by supporting the base and maintaining internal pressure. This automatically reduces the effort the body needs to sustain the erection, making the process feel more natural and effortless. Finally, the circulatory memory of the penis becomes stronger. When blood flows into the cavernous bodies consistently over several days or weeks, small vessels that were previously dormant reopen. This expanded network means the penis receives more blood, more quickly, and with less resistance. As these pathways strengthen, the immediate results you experienced earlier begin to last longer, producing erections that feel fuller and more powerful. When these adjustments accumulate, your body stops relying on temporary boosts and starts producing stable, dependable erections. At this stage, the process moves beyond simple improvement and enters a phase where your sexual vitality becomes sustainable, setting the foundation for everything that comes next. As your body adapts to these changes and the internal pathways regain strength, you begin to notice a shift that goes far beyond a simple improvement in erection quality. The penis no longer struggles to respond, instead, it reacts with a confidence that reflects the balance you have rebuilt in your circulation, in your pelvic control, and in the natural signals that govern sexual function. Many men describe this stage as a return to themselves, as if a part of their masculinity that had been slipping away suddenly becomes present again. This happens because the body, once given the right stimulus, remembers how to perform. The mechanisms that once felt slow or unreliable start working in your favor with surprising consistency. When the pelvic floor responds in harmony with your breathing, when the arteries reopen, when the cavernous bodies regain elasticity, and when the nerves fire with precision, your erection becomes more than a momentary reaction. It turns into a dependable expression of your sexual health. The immediate swelling you first experienced becomes easier to reproduce, the rigidity lasts longer, and the sense of control returns. This transformation is not artificial. It does not depend on medication. It is your own system functioning the way it was designed to function. What many men do not realize is that this process improves more than the erection itself. It enhances confidence, energy, posture, and even emotional presence. The body feels grounded again. The mind feels connected to desire. And the penis responds with a firmness that reflects this internal alignment. For some, this shift feels like reclaiming youth. For others, it feels like discovering a new version of themselves, one that had been hidden beneath tension, stress, and years of diminished circulation. Whatever the experience, the result is the same, a natural return of masculine power. Reaching this point does not mean the journey ends. It simply means your body is ready for deeper refinement, for maintaining these results with ease, and for enjoying a sexual life that feels stable, strong, and satisfying. If you arrived here, it means you allowed yourself to explore each phase with attention and openness, and your body is responding in ways you may not have imagined when you first began. And since you reached the end of this conversation, let me invite you to take one more step with me. Leave a comment saying the phrase "I am with you" until the end so I know you completed this journey. If the content helped you understand your body with more clarity, your like supports the growth of the space and encourages more men to access information that truly matters. And if you want to continue improving your sexual health naturally, check if you are subscribed, because this channel brings guidance that builds upon everything you learned here. There is a video waiting for you that deepens this subject even further, so move forward and let your progress continue from there.